Kon'nichiwa Otakus and welcome to the Otaku Haven, a place where we discuss all stuff related to manga and anime. This is your host Chris and I welcome you guys to today's video. I wanted to inform you guys that the Jujutsu Kaisen manga has returned after a hiatus of around 2 months. I have also told you guys earlier that the new movie Jujutsu Kaisen 0 is going to be released this year on the 24th of December. This movie is an adaptation of the Volume 0 Blinding Darkness and follows the story of Okkotsu Yuta. I have noticed that many of my friends who are anime onlys are interested about Yuta, but they do not know anything about him as they have not read the manga. I have also seen that even the manga reader friends of mine have skipped Volume 0 so that they can directly follow Yuji's story. Hence I decided that I will be making a video where I'll be covering the story of Volume 0 and telling you guys about Yuta, the protagonist before Yuji. And guys, before we start, I would just like to say that making this video took a lot out of me since this required a good script, editing manga panels and voiceover work. So I want to request you guys to please like this video and to share it with your friends if you liked it. Please people, it gives a lot of encouragement to the content creator. Now as a responsible content creator who strictly believes in the quotation, in this world those who don't like Gojo are scum, but those who give away spoilers are even worse scum. I would like to issue a spoiler warning to all the people who want to watch the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie directly. If you're one of those people, then this video is not for you. Don't blame me later for giving spoilers people, you have been warned. Also, I will be posting the link of the website from where I have taken the manga panels so that you can read the manga from there. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, the Jujutsu Kaisen manga series written by Gigi Akutami consists of 16 tankobon volumes. And just like any other manga or anime, Jujutsu Kaisen consists of several story arcs, and we are going to follow the story of Okkotsu Yuta in this particular video. Now, before we start, I would like to point out that Yuta has been mentioned in the anime many times by various characters. A few instances of these are by Gojo Sensei after Yuji's supposed death in the Cursed Womb arc, where Gojo tells Kiyotaka Ichiji that Yuta was a second year student who had the potential to be on par with him and possibly even surpass him. Another mention of Yuta is seen when Megumi introduces Nobara Kukisaki to the second years, Maki, Inumaki and Panda, and tells Nobara that there was another second year named Yuta Okkotsu, and that he was the only second year that he could openly respect. Now, with those stuff out of the way, let's get started with Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 0 Blinding Darkness, the Cursed Child arc. This volume consists of 4 chapters and I must inform you that this story takes place in the year of 2017, 1 year before the main Jujutsu Kaisen storyline. Let's get into it. As the first chapters open, we see Gojo Sensei talking to the Jujutsu higher-ups about some secret execution of a boy named Yuta Okkotsu. We then see what happened and why Yuta was going to be executed. We see a few students bullying Yuta and he, instead of resisting, continuously asks Rika to not hurt them. We then see a news bulletin saying that Yuta seriously injured the students who tried bullying him. Switching to the present, Gojo Sensei, being the wonderful dude he is, asks them to cancel the execution and tells them that he would take Yuta in as his student. We then see Maki Zenin, Panda and Inumaki Toge, the current first years of Jujutsu High, talking to each other about their new transfer student and about how he crammed 4 of his previous classmates in a locker for bullying him. As the panel changes, we see Gojo, the teacher in charge of the first years, in a room full of talismans along with Yuta. Gojo Sensei holds up a badly misshapen knife and asks Yuta about it. Yuta tells Gojo that he tried to kill himself but Rika wouldn't allow him to. He further tells Gojo that he does not want to go to school and that he does not want to hurt anybody else. Gojo listens to Yuta and he tells him that Yuta's curse can be also used to help people and that it all depends on how Yuta decides to use it. Then we see Gojo in a classroom and we see that he is informing the other students about Yuta. Gojo then asks Yuta to enter the classroom. As soon as Yuta enters, Maki, Panda and Inumaki sense a great curse that has latched itself onto Yuta and they jump on him. The manga shifts and we see that the story has gone back to a time of 6 years and we see a much younger Yuta with his friend Rika. Rika gifts Yuta a ring on his birthday and they decide that when they grow up they are going to marry each other. But we then see that poor Rika has met a terrible accident and is killed on the spot. We then see Rika becoming a curse and latching herself onto Yuta. Now as the scene shifts to present, Gojo wants Maki, Panda and Inumaki to be careful around Yuta. The students are then introduced to Yuta by Gojo and he tells them about their respective specialities. Gojo then divides the four students into two teams, pairing Inumaki with Panda and Yuta with Maki. Gojo takes Yuta and Maki to an elementary school and tells them that some kids had gone missing there and that he wants them to exorcise the curses and retrieve the kids. Gojo leaves after this, leaving Yuta and Maki alone. Yuta is first scared, but Maki exorcises a few curses in front of him and asks him to man up. Maki then asks Yuta about his sorcerer grade, and then we find out that Yuta is in fact a special grade sorcerer. A quick Jujutsu lesson for you guys. Sorcerers are divided into grades based on their power. The fourth grades are the weakest, whereas the special grades are the strongest. For your reference, Gojo, the strongest sorcerer alive, is a special grade sorcerer. Continuing, as they both are talking, they are attacked and swallowed by a huge cursed spirit. Inside the spirit's stomach, they find the two missing kids, but notice that they have already been cursed. Yuta, being a new guy, starts freaking out. Maki then grabs him and asks him about what he wants to become. Yuta tells her that he wants to become a reliable person that people can rely upon and that he wants to believe that it's okay to keep on living. Maki listens to this and tells him to start exorcising the curse and that this is what Jujutsu is all about. After this, Maki faints because of the tremendous negative cursed energy and because she was hurt. Yuta then decides that he will use his curse to help everyone. He takes out his engagement ring that Rika gave him and puts it on, hence manifesting the power of Rika. It is then revealed to us that Rika is a very powerful, vengeful curse spirit. She manages to defeat the other curse without much issue. After this, Yuta then rescues Maki and the other kids, and Gojo, being the wonderful teacher he is, congratulates him. Yuta theorizes that maybe he was the one who cursed Rika, and maybe Rika became a curse because of him. He then decides that he will unravel the curse of Rika at Jujutsu High. After this incident, we again see Gojo talking to the higher-ups and it seems that they are really angry because Yuta manifested Rika as a curse. They tell Gojo that they will execute Yuta if another incident like this takes place. Now we get to see an amazing Gojo moment. Gojo gives a serious look to the higher-ups and he tells them that if they decide something like that, then he would take Yuta's side. We see Yuta training with his classmates and we see him training especially with Maki as he wants to learn how to channel his cursed energy into a katana. All of them bond a lot during this time. After a while, Yuta and Toge are sent to exorcise curses in an abandoned shopping mall that is scheduled for demolition. We learn that the curse was originally assigned to Toge and that Yuta was just being sent to support him. Before they go to the location to exorcise the curses, Gojo asks Yuta to not let Rika out. And if he does, then the both of them will be disposed of. We learn that Toge is a cursed speech user, meaning that he can exorcise curses using his speech. The downside being that it puts a huge pressure on his throat, hence he uses throat medicine. He demonstrates this technique as he exorcises a group of curses. As they think that their job is over, we see that there is another much more powerful curse present in that place. While fighting this curse, Inumaki gets injured and his throat medicine gets lost. Seeing this situation, Yuta and Inumaki decide to work together. Yuta, seeing the spirit, rushes in first to attack it and he finds the throat medicine that Inumaki had dropped and he throws it to him. Inumaki catches this and quickly uses his technique and they both exorcise the curse. This incident and battle causes Yuta to respect Inumaki and forges a friendship between them. But they do not know that they are being watched by a man in monk robes. As the panel changes, we see Ichiji talking to Gojo and telling him about the sudden curse that attacked Yuta and Toge. He also tells Satoru that there was someone else who cast a curtain above his curtain. A curtain is a layer that is cast above a specific zone so that normal people don't see Jujutsu sorcerers when they fight. We learn that the man responsible for this was the man in the robes and we learn that his name is Suguru Geto, a special grade curse user and an ex-Jujutsu student. We then get to see a bit of Geto's plan and we find out that he is assembling a team of evil sorcerers for taking down Jujutsu High. We learn that Geto wants to kill all the non-sorcerers and create an era especially for Jujutsu sorcerers. He calls this team of his family. Family? Suguru, Dom Toretto would be proud of you, man. I've been watching too many family memes, guys. Gojo then tells the Jujutsu principal Yaga about this whole incident and tells him that he suspects Geto. As they are speaking, the principal gets alerted and tells him to gather all the semi-grade 1 and above sorcerers at the front gate. Soon, we learn that Geto has arrived at Jujutsu High with his family. As his team members are looking around, Geto simply walks towards Yuta, holds his hand and tells him that it's an honor to meet him. Then Geto talks to Yuta and tells him that the world is a messed up place. So, he will kill all the non-sorcerers so that he can establish a perfect society where he envisions sorcerers living in peace. As all of this is happening, Gojo, Principal Misamachi, and the other sorcerers arrive for backup, and Gojo asks Geto to step the hell away from his precious students. Now, I just want to say this is a spoiler. During the hidden inventory arc of Volume 4, I guess, we explore the student days of Gojo, and we learn that Geto and Gojo were actually teammates and best friends, until Geto abandons Jujutsu High and becomes an evil sorcerer. Coming back to the present, we learn that Geto comes to the school so that he can declare war upon the Jujutsu Society. He declares that on the night of the 24th of December, he will commence the night parade of 100 demons and he leaves. This creates a panic in the Jujutsu world, and we see that a council is assembled for discussing the strategy for encountering this particular parade. On the 24th of December, we see Suguru Geto talking to himself as he walks and kills people. He says that if he manages to kill Okkotsu, then he can absorb Rika and take over the world. We see that he is in fact outside Jujutsu High. We are told that both Panda and Inomaki are in Shinjuku along with the other sorcerers to help them, and that Maki and Yuta are the only ones left at school. They start talking and Maki tells Yuta that she cannot see curses or use cursed energy, and that is why she uses cursed tools. As they are talking, Geto manages to cast an enormous curtain all over the school grounds. As all of this is happening, we see Gojo, Panda, and Toge in Shinjuku getting ready to fight. Gojo realizes that Geto isn't on the front line, and he understands Geto's plan. He quickly grabs hold of Panda and Toge, and he uses a technique to warp them to the high school. He tells them to protect Maki and Yuta with their lives. As soon as they reach the school, Panda and Toge try to take on Geto but are instantly defeated. They also see that Maki has also been defeated by Geto. As this happens, Yuta arrives at the scene to see that Geto has defeated Panda, Toge and Maki in a very brutal way. This angers Yuta, and using this anger, Yuta manifests Rika for a second time. He warns Geto that he will kill him for hurting his friends. Yuka picks up his friends and takes them somewhere safe so that he can heal them. Yuta then tells Rika that Geto is their enemy and asks her to concentrate on him. Yuta and Geto start fighting and Geto unleashes a small group of curses on him. Yuta looks at Rika and she gives him a microphone with Inomaki's curse symbol on it. We then learn that Rika has the ability to copy other curse techniques and let Yuta use them. This is an amazing power. Yuta then uses this microphone to kill the small group of curses. As the panel switches, we see Gojo and the others fighting back at Shinjuku, and we see that Gojo is defeating curses and fighting curse users simultaneously. Gojo is known as the strongest sorcerer alive and as the honored one. He has the skills to back those titles up. The panel switches and we see that Yuta and Geto are going to clash using cursed tools now. But we see that Okkotsu starts to get pushed back slowly. After fighting for a while, Geto decides that it's time to end Yuta and decides to unleash his deadly technique. Curse technique manipulation, maximum Uzumaki, he says. After hearing to Geto, Yuta turns towards Rika. He hugs her. He tells her that he is thankful to her for loving him and for protecting him. He further states that his heart and his body belong to Rika and he kisses Rika's spirit. These words manage to awaken a power deep within Rika and her true form is manifested, which is much more powerful. Geto witnesses this and calls Yuta a womanizer for doing this. Yuta in reply tells him that this was the power of pure love and launches an attack at Geto. Geto in response launches the maximum Uzumaki and both the attacks clash. As the panel shifts, we see that Geto is still alive, but he is heavily injured. He manages to escape and vows that he will someday capture Rika. But we see that Gojo finds Geto, and then they have a little chat. Gojo asks Geto if he has any final words, and Geto tells Gojo that he will always hate the non-Jujutsu sorcerers. Gojo tells him something, and it seems as if Gojo has killed Geto. We then see that Maki, Panda, and Toge are trying to wake Yuta up. Yuta wakes up and feels happy that all of them are safe. We then see that Rika is waiting for Yuta, and Yuta tells everyone that he promised to go with her in exchange for power. Everyone is shocked after hearing this and don't wanna let him go. But as they are talking, we see that Rika changes into her little girl form from her spirit form. Gojo Sensei appears and tells them that this happened because the curse was broken. We also learn that Gojo and Yuta are distant relatives. Gojo tells Yuta that his theory about him cursing Rika was absolutely true. Yuta then remembers that he did not want Rika to die, and he realizes that his emotions are what turned her into a curse. He remembers these things and starts crying because it's all his fault. As he's crying, Rika approaches him and hugs him. She thanks him for letting her stay by his side and tells him that she was the most happiest when she was with him. With those words, Rika bids farewell to him and she disappears. At the end of the volume, we see that Yuta is wearing the engagement ring that Rika gave him as a child, and he attends Jujutsu High along with his friends and Gojo Sensei. The end. This was a nice one. My ending thoughts on this volume is that I just cannot wait for the movie to be released, and I think that this volume is awesome. The art is splendid as always, and Yuta Okkotsu is an amazing protagonist, and I hope that you guys think the same. With that, we come to the end of the video. This was a long one. I hope you guys like my style of story narration, and if you did, I request you guys to please like the video and to share it with your friends who are JJK fans. Please people, this video was really tough to make and it took a lot of effort. So yeah, it's a huge support. Also, please tell me if you like this format of videos so that I can try to do more bits of this kind. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, this is Chris, signing out, Tebayo.